Hi, we're Lindsay and Ken and we love to travel.
Why not come and join us as we explore new places all around the world?
Pick up some useful hints and tips and don't make the mistakes that we have.
See the things that we get up to and take a look around the ships as we travel.
Why not subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to make sure you don't miss out. Hello and welcome. Concentrate, dear. So
Sorry.
the camera's over there. Up
Yes.
there. Hello and welcome to another episode of Ken Goes Cruising. It's so nice to see so many of you here, isn't it?
It is.
It is.
Yes,
Lovely.
it's lovely.
So let's have a quick look. See, Kevin was here. Must have been 8 o'clock in the morning over there, I would think. Thank you, Kevin. Kevin was here very, very, very early. And Bob is here, or Bob and Holly. Dan, thankfully, is here because he's going to be joining us in a couple of minutes. And we've got Stephen. Good evening, Stephen. Nice of you to join. So it looks like everyone's saying hello to everybody else as well.
And Rose.
Rose is here.
Yeah.
Good evening
Hello,
to
Rose.
you. Yeah. It was on Balletta last year that we first met Rose, wasn't it? Yeah. So that was nice. Holly. Hi, Holly.
Hello, Holly.
Good to see you. And we've got Corinne. Oh, supposed to be singing, but struck in stream. Oh no. So happy to have this live video to chat and dream about cruises. Thank you, Corinne. Nice of you to come in. And we've got Andy and Carla.
Hello.
Which is great. Who else is here? Rosemary, Kevin, Holly, and everyone's saying hello to everyone. That's great. Tracy is here. Good evening, Tracy. Nice to see you.
Nice.
Nice. You notice Dax here is on Lindsay's knee. He's all cuddled up. Tell everyone about Daxy today.
He's feeling a bit under the weather today because he's been to the vet for his annual injections, and they always used to say the dog would be quiet for a few hours, and he wasn't. And they changed the medication that they've started giving him, and we have about 12 hours, perhaps even a little bit more, where he's really not himself. So all he wants is a cuddle.
Yeah.
And at the moment, he's sending my arm to sleep.
Is he?
But he will be all right. He just needs a bit of time to get over it.
Bit of time. So we've also got Gil and Sandra. We met them last year, didn't we? On that. And the cruise monkeys.
Hello.
Yes. Oh, they're cooking dinner at the same time as well.
Oh, well.
Interested to hear about the last cruise. Yeah, it really was a great cruise. And Johnny and Willie here.
Hello.
Good to see you guys. We were supposed to have a little chat last night, didn't we? But it didn't quite happen. But it will do at some point in time. Right, so I'm going to flip over now. Oh no, we've got something else to do first, haven't we, Lindsay?
Yeah, we got some people to say hello to from the cruise.
Yes.
Because
and Lionel and Florida are here. I just saw them.
Yes, so they are. Hello.
Yeah. We'll get to the rest of you on screen in a little while.
But meanwhile, just to say hello to a few people that we met. So we got Christine and Phil, and we met those first of all on the letter as well.
Yes, we did.
Lionel in Florida, Tom, Jenny, Angie, and Keith, Kath and Jim, Kerry and John, and there probably are some more that.
Oh, don't forget Ed.
Oh, Ed.
Ed and his missus. We never did find a name out, but they were good fun as well.
But there probably are some more, and if we've missed people out, we are sorry. But
Yes.
there were people left, right, and centre saying hello, which was really, really nice. But we have one special hello.
Yeah, we got this. I'm just going to put this on the screen.
Very happy birthday, Vicky.
Yes, happy birthday to
I hope
Vicky.
you've had a good day.
Yes.
And I hope you're actually watching this on replay, because I hope you're out celebrating somewhere.
She's probably feeling cold.
And she probably is.
After coming back from the Canaries.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're just going to swap over to Dan now. I've got to press a few little buttons while I swap over. Otherwise you won't be able to see and hear us. So just bear with us for a few seconds.
This could go terribly wrong. There he is.
There's Dan. Yeah, I've got to turn him on now.
We can see him anyway.
Good evening, Dan. People should be able to hear you now.
Hopefully, good evening.
Yeah. I just got one more little thing to do and then we'll be away. Just got to go in there and turn this on. Otherwise Dan won't be able to see any of our little messages that are coming through. And it's nothing more. Oh, where is it?
Very technical.
I can't find it. There it is. Right. You should now be able to see our little messages. So we'll just go through now. Dan's here. We'll just see who else is in here. Quite a few, I think.
Yeah.
And then we'll come back to the questions afterwards because we got some coming through. Rock Doc, good evening to you, Keith. Nice to see you here. Jerry.
Lizzie.
Jerry's here.
Hi, Lizzie.
Lizzie Lou's here.
Not very far away.
No. She could probably hear us if we shouted.
Well, if I shouted, yeah.
Well, yeah. Reese is here. And let's see. Oh, Tom. Tom is here.
Hello,
Tom's
Tom.
coming on our group cruise. Good evening to you. And Davina. And Davina's also on the group cruise.
Yeah.
And, where are we? Land Rover 1965. That's a good name, isn't it?
It is for me, yeah.
I know it is. But, right. And Florida and Lionel, who Lindsay just mentioned, we met them both on the Borealis. And, yeah, it was great, wasn't it? And now they're joining us on the group cruise as well, so it was good. Claire's here. Lovely Claire. And Sheila.
It would be rude not to be here.
Yeah.
Yes, I know what you mean, Sheila.
Thank you, Sheila. Very kind. Right, so I think if there's anyone we've missed, we'll catch up in a minute. We'll just go back up and see if there's any questions, because questions for us, questions for Dan, we'll both chip in and hopefully we'll be able to help you with whatever you need. I'm looking for questions now. I think that's the first one. Right, so Andy and Cara, what did you like best about the Borealis?
Service.
The service, the staff.
Service is incredible. The staff are amazing.
Yeah.
I think probably Dan would agree as well that the Fred staff are really, really good.
Yeah, I've never been on the two of the new ships, but that's one thing with Freds. You can never fault the service. No, it's the same on any ship you go on.
Yeah. Yeah, same last
It's
year.
just special, and they're just so. We had the survey through, didn't we? You filled yours in. I haven't filled mine in yet, but they said on there in 2 words, sum up what Fred Olsen, what the last cruise meant to you, and I think we just said friendly and welcoming, didn't we?
Something like that, yeah.
Because that's what it's all about. Anyway, that doesn't help Andy and Carla. Right.
The food's very good.
Food was excellent.
Really enjoyed that. And whether you were in the main dining room or whether you're in the buffet, the quality of the food is extremely good. In the buffet, they are very good at doing food fresh to order on the pasta station and the stir fry station.
Station.
Stir fries.
Yeah.
They
were good.
And in the morning, of course, they do eggs to order out there. The breakfasts and the other meals were good down in the MDR, but there was something quite special about eating up there, actually, wasn't there?
Yeah, they've changed it slightly from when we were on last year. So when you go to the buffet, you don't get seated every time you go there. You only get seated if it's busy. So if it's fairly empty, you just walk in and find a seat. But if it's
getting towards
peak times, then they'll stop you and say, just hang on a minute. They've got walkie-talkie system there and they'll call up. And some of the food is served to you and some of the food you serve yourself, don't you? So it's a bit of each, depending on what it is. Bread and things like that you help yourself to, don't you?
But they are very keen. When you're stood there waiting to be seated, they're very keen to make you squid your hands.
Oh, yes.
Which is quite good, actually. But they're very keen wherever you went. Any of the food outlets, the squidging of hands was very important to them.
Yeah.
And certainly much more so than we've seen on some of the other ships.
Yeah. Yeah, they were quite keen, weren't they? Which is a good thing. Nobody can complain about that.
No.
Other best things, so on Boletta last year we were quite disappointed with the entertainment. On Borealis this year it was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
It was good. The guest entertainers, here's some different things on it. I ended up on stage one night with the mind reader
Sorry.
I was a bit concerned what he was going to read in my
I wasn't.
mind.
No, I wasn't concerned at all.
Oh, I was. What do you think? There's nothing there.
No, saying nothing there.
Yeah. So I went up on stage with the mind reader, and then they had that Mickey Zaney, who I thought was about 95. He isn't much older than us. He was very funny. Comedian.
He was actually. Yeah, he was very funny. And very much observational comedy, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Didn't let anybody get away with anything.
No, not at all. And the production shows were actually a lot better than last year. They were pretty good, because we slagged them off last year, but they were actually quite good. They weren't up there, but they weren't down there. They were sort of 3/4 of the way up, weren't they? Mm-hmm. Very watchable and very entertaining.
There's no doubt about the fact that the cruise director that was on there has had an influence. Lucy has come across from Princess,
yeah.
And even some of the staff have said that her influence is quite strong on the ship. She was the one apparently that re-instigated the buffet outside in the pool area, which was a brilliant evening. Yeah. It really was a good evening. Yeah. And so she's also getting hold of the entertainment by the scruff of the neck and shaking it up a bit. The crew entertaining, when they did the cruise show, it was really good. The production was wonderful. Yeah. I'd been proud to be up there and have a production like that behind me. It was really, really well done. Good. Very slick. Yeah. And very well done. Yeah. It was good. What else did we like about? Oh, the Martini. The Martini, what was it? Martini Experience. The Martini Experience. Don't say too much, because it'll be in the video. Not going to say too much about it, but it was darn good fun and really entertaining. Yeah. Yeah, and something that we would definitely do again. Oh yes. Yeah, the outdoor party was so good. They had a huge barbecue outside, 2 bands playing at different times, and all the waiters and all the chefs. The chefs were even up dancing as well. But you'll see it all in the video when it comes out. It's a few weeks away, that one, but it will come out. But it was good, yeah. Yeah, so that was really good. Right, let's see if we've got any more questions here. Oh, well, we sort of half answered that. The differences between the two. Yeah. The ship is virtually identical, apart from, and I've got a little picture here, if this works. There are 1 or 2 minor differences, but nothing much to speak about, except for this that he's just trying to. I'm just trying to find it. This is going to be interesting, putting that up as well. Well, yeah. So, it's the rear of the ship. So on Boletta, they've got a pool. On Borealis, that's what they've got. They've got a flower pot. But you can sort of see around where the pool was, and that's sort of there, and then they've just sort of got like flowers growing around it. We understand what they did was they took the pool out so that they could put extra cabins in the deck below, and they didn't quite know what to do with it, so they made it into a false garden. Yeah, you just don't. It just looks a bit weird. One more difference that I remember, and it's quite strange, this is the specialty dining. Well, that may not have been a permanent thing. No, it may not be, but it's what we experienced. So last year on Boletta, Vasco was really good. Colours and Taste was okay. This year on Borealis, Colours and Taste was excellent and Vasco was okay. There's nothing wrong with it. Bearing in mind we only paid £10 a head for the specialty dining, which is another better, benefit off there. The spa. Oh yeah. Yeah, so we had an hour in the thermal spa, which is only £25 for 2 people, and that's exclusive, so nobody else is allowed in there. It's only your party, which is very good value for money. But the jacuzzi that they had in there was a bubbleless jacuzzi. In theory. Yeah. So on Boletta it was all whooshing, wasn't it? But on here you've got the jets coming through, but that's it, no bubbles. Yeah, and we did ask, because I thought it was me, I couldn't find out to turn it on, but that wasn't the case, was it? Yeah. It was how it was. The jacuzzi's up on the deck. Bigger, they're big. And they look very good.
very good.
But it was a bit.
And the pool, the pool was.
At times, wasn't it? The
Well,
water.
yeah.
The water was. No, you wouldn't have needed to go in the jacuzzi. You could have gone in the main swimming pool.
Yeah, it was coming out over the top, wasn't it? At
It
times.
was.
Right. So Kevin says, "How was the food on Borealis?"
Very good.
Well, we've sort of. I'll see if I can. Oh yeah, let's see this one. So this was one of the stir fries that I'd half eaten, that was actually served up in the buffet. So you go to the buffet, and they've got a stir fry a day, and you say, "Can I have one portion or two portions?" And then they make it and serve it up to you.
Yeah.
I think it was good as well.
Yeah, very tasty.
Yeah.
There were one or two things that they asked about as to whether you wanted garlic or ginger, and when you were putting the toppings on the top, whether you wanted any extra chilli or whether you wanted any extra sesame, that sort of thing. So that was offered to you as well. So it was really done to taste. It was very good.
It was really, and this is, I've got a picture here. This is the party night that we had. So this was the ice carving. You can see the roof's open, and you can see all down one side. You can see all the chefs there, that are there cooking their bits and pieces, and it was.
They had
just really
several
good.
ice carvings there. That was obviously the main one.
Yeah.
And they had a job to separate that one to get it away from the end
They
of the
did.
night. It sort of sealed itself to the place that it was on. But they did manage to break it in the end.
I've got a photo here of the show that I was talking about. It's one of the shows. So they're quite, the costumes are all pretty upbeat now, and it's quite good. I haven't got any videos of the show because we weren't allowed to, but really good food, Kevin. So much better than we experienced on Cunard in December.
Yeah.
So much better. Choice, quantity and quality.
And although we ate in the buffet quite a lot, it was because it was a nice experience up there as much as anything else. There were one or two nights where we looked at the main dining room and thought, well, yeah, that looks all right, but actually upstairs is still better. And other nights when it was the other way around. And it just made a nice change rather than go to the main dining room and think, oh no, really? So it was a personal thing, but it was never over busy up there.
No.
It was busy but not crammed.
And the other thing that why we went to the buffet a few times in the evening is the timings as well. Because Fred pulled forward their first sitting now to 6 o'clock, which is, well, wasn't as early as Cunard was, but it's a bit early for us. So if you're busy doing things in the day, or you want to see a sail away or something like that, you can't do it if you're in the dining room. So that was the other reason. There were a couple of occasions when we'd been out doing things, didn't get back, and we just wanted to sort of have an hour to ourselves before we went to dinner rather than rush, and we did that a couple of times as well, didn't we? But yeah, it food was very good indeed. Right, let's see. So I forgot about the cats. Let's see. Oh yeah, Dax is so cute. Yes, he is. He's just a bit under the weather. That's all.
Yeah, he wouldn't be very difficult to dog nap at the moment because he's very cuddly and quiet, and you know that's not like him.
Yes. Well, just say a quick special hello to Flora and Lionel, because you spent quite a bit of time with them. And Dan, you've had the pleasure of chatting to them now as well, haven't you, I think?
Yes, I have, yeah.
Yeah. So they're all booked up now. But good to meet you guys.
Yeah, it was fun.
Right,
It was fun.
let's see if we've got any more questions.
I wonder what you did with all the ducks you found.
Dan involved a bit more. Have you been to the Azores? We hear that April is a great time to go due to the whale migration. Never been to the Azores. Have you been to the Azores, Dan?
Nope.
No,
You haven't?
No.
No.
perhaps somebody else on here has.
Yeah, is any? I expect Bob's been there. Although it's Jerry may well have. Not sure. So yeah, we've always sort of looked. I mean, Azores is where you stop when you go in transatlantic sometimes, isn't it? When you're on repositioning or something like that. But we've done transatlantic over and back twice now, haven't we?
Yeah.
And we've hello dear, and we've never stopped there. So sorry, Reese, I can't help you with that one, but
you may get some messages from
you
other
may
people
get
that
some
can.
messages and answers for other people, which would be helpful. Thank you if anyone does know. Cruise monkeys, what's for dinner? Bob's just putting up the playlist, the vlogs. There's not a lot on there at the moment.
Give me
Just
a chance.
give me a chance, yeah. After a day like today, I'm not likely to. Oh wow!
Oh,
Okay, so where have they gone? There they are. Margaret
hello,
in
Margaret.
New Zealand. Morning, Kendall. New Zealand. To see you this morning. Just Margaret this morning. Jackie in week 4 of her new job.
Oh, wow.
Oh
Hope
wow!
It's going all right.
Yeah, that means she can come over and see us again next year. It was great, wasn't it?
More cruise planning now.
More cruise planning.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah,
What do you reckon?
yeah. New Zealand seems to be the in place for cruising at the moment.
It
doesn't
does.
A lot of people are going there, but we shall see. Right, always more time for cruise planning. Yeah, you're dead right, Bob. We did some planning today, didn't we, Dan?
Yeah, interesting planning.
Well, we're feeling a lot poorer than we were.
I am. It came out of my account.
Oh yeah, I know. Only temporarily. No, we settled up, didn't we, Dan, for our Vista cruise in July, end of July. Yeah, so that was time. Johnny and Will. Poor Dax last time our pups had their vaccines. Poppy fish flinched and pulled a wing muscle and felt sorry. Oh yeah, it's this new one they're doing. It's he's down in the dumps.
Yeah, down in the dumps. And yet, I'm surprised he's with me at all, actually, because I'm the one that took him.
Yeah, it's usually me. Yeah.
But he got lots and lots and lots of gravy bones, far too many, I suspect.
Yeah.
And he's had more treats this afternoon, so you're not doing too badly out of it, are you?
And he had a roast dinner tonight as well.
As you do.
As you do, yeah. So he hasn't done too bad. So Jerry's saying hi to Dan. Claire's hi to her favourite travel agent, Dan.
Aww.
Oh, yeah. Oh, thanks, Dan, for all your help. Florida and Lionel, good. That was great to see. Thank you. Good to hear about. Not sure if you got heard. Dan heard about the ports refusing cruise ships recently. Over to you, Dan.
Wow.
In complete honesty, we don't get told anything. There will be ports that do it. I know Barcelona are one that are always saying they're going to do something, but they don't really tend to do it. But I haven't heard, I've not really heard of any that have, that I've seen. Well, none of our clients have been affected by any. But I'm sure it will come at some point because the ships are getting bigger.
Yeah, good reason for going on smaller ships.
Yeah.
Keep the smaller ships going, leave the big ones empty, and perhaps they won't build any more big ones, they'll just build a few more smaller ones. Yes. Should be nice, shouldn't it? We like a small ship, but it depends what's going where.
That's what
at the
you're
time.
looking for, doesn't it? And it depends whether you're going family ship or adult only or a sort of halfway house between the two. And it depends on where you want to go. You know, some of the smaller ships have the advantage of getting into smaller ports.
Yeah. I mean, Norway have been talking for a few years now about banning ships and banning this and banning that, and then you get the protesters in the port that are like waving their things and sticking stickers up, no cruisers here. But
then you get the locals are taking them down again.
The local businesses are taking them down because they're grateful for the trade. I think that's the only thing we need to bear in mind, that when we are visiting somebody's country, that perhaps we ought to use their local facilities and buy local things and try their food and beer and you know, book locally to a certain extent. We tend to have a drink or something, even if it's only a cup of coffee, which you hear stories of some people who are taking packed lunches off of the ships when probably they're not even allowed to because of import duties and things, and they take packed lunches off and don't sort of engage with the local community. I'll never forget that time in, where were we? No. Coming back from Canada, Newfoundland. and we went there, and these two complete strangers just picked us up in their car and took us for a tour. Two ladies, weren't they, retired ladies, and they took us for about a 10-mile tour all round these places, and just because they thought we looked nice.
Yeah, to be fair, either of us could have been mass murderers.
We could have, and they wouldn't have known.
But apparently that's just the way that they are over there.
And that day up in Alta, when we were sat in that bar having a chat to the locals, and there were some older guys there as well, and the younger ones were having to translate because their English was about as good as my Norwegian, absolutely useless. But it's just that, and it's just nice to speak to people. So Claire, what should someone who's never been with Fred know about Borealis? You can do a bit, Lindsay.
Well, obviously we're bowled over with the service, so you should know that the service is going to be top notch, very friendly. It's just like walking into somebody's home, really. And that I think is part of the ethos of Fred, that they like people to feel as though they're part of the family. And I think that actually goes as far as the crew as well. They treat family as if they're crew.
Crew as if they're family, even.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But they do. They look after them. They seem to publicly praise them. There are awards that were given out at the end of our cruise.
Yeah.
And they are very keen to get the backstage crew, the ones from downstairs, the ones that never see the public, up and out and getting a bit of thanks from everybody.
Well, that one night, the theatre company put on an extra production of a show late at night, and they opened up the shops specifically for the rest of the crew. So you had guys from the engine room, you had the laundry and people like that. Obviously not everyone, because they obviously do it on the rota, but they were invited up. They went into the theatre for an additional show. We didn't miss out on anything. They did it in addition to. And they all came up, watched the show, and then they could do some shopping in the shops as well if they wished to.
And while you're on there, you feel as though you're part of their family.
Yeah, you do. It's a very warm feeling, isn't it? The ships, just to sort of put a bit more balance to it, the ships are old, Claire. Borealis was 1997. It's small, which is good to us, but not to some people. Some people like a larger ship with 20 different dining venues and things like that on there. She's not got that. She's 66,000 tons, 240 meters long, something like that. There are 10 passenger decks, so she's not tiny, and she has most things on there. But you know, if you go into the buffet, you haven't got 300 choices like some. You go on Virtuosa or something like that, the huge choice. You've got maybe 10 or 15, but they're nice and they're quality.
You've also got a lot of places that you can sit. It's a very outward-looking ship.
Plenty of room.
Plenty of rooms that have the chairs turned to the windows. And if you can get them, there are some really nice ones up in the observatory that have got recliners, aren't they?
Recliners, so you can look at.
There's a fight over those.
Yeah, because
there's more fights over those than there are on deck.
Most people have fallen asleep in them in the afternoon.
Yeah.
But it was older, this cruise. We felt quite young, whereas last year when we were on, we were probably middle of the road. This was a bit older, but that doesn't stop people partying till 2 o'clock in the morning. They had a party band up there, didn't they?
I blame Florida and Lionel.
They had a party band up in the observation lounge called Choice, and they were really good. They played everything from Black Sabbath to ABBA, you know, so it was all there, and many requests if you wanted them.
Yeah. So
it's just good. It's good service. The drink service and the drinks package is strange. We did a video about it because it was so strange. You can have a look at that one if you like. A lot of people are at the moment. But yeah, it's just a very comfortable see, there you go. Florida and Lionel answered the same way. Fantastic staff, great service and food. And that's really what it's all about. And the prices, once you get on board, are not that expensive.
No.
We've got Phil here. Hi, Phil. Phil and Sheila. Sheila, we're flying on
Remember
Saturday.
you from Sky. How could we forget?
Of course, we can remember you, our choir buddies
Absolutely.
from Sky, joining Arvia and cruising back to the UK. Lots of love. Thank you very much for your kind thoughts. Bob's put the vlogs up again.
Has he put the Ballack ones up, I think.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
So that's
So
interesting.
that's the Valletta one. So you can have a look at that. I mean, obviously the ones on Borealis will be coming out if I ever get time to do anything. But yeah, they will be coming out. But great fun. Gil and Sandra love the food and service on Fred. Yeah, it's really good. Really good indeed. Do you think Fred are going after the traditional P&O customers?
Oh, there you go. There's one for Dan.
What do you think, Dan?
Yes and no.
Oh.
There's a stat that I got told about a year and a half ago. The majority of the Fred's new cruisers were actually from Oceania.
Really?
Really?
Yeah. Not as many from P&O, but there are quite a few. Your traditional Oriana, Oceania, Aurora
Yeah.
guests are trying to move over to Fred's, but the thing that puts them off is the pricing at times.
Okay.
So that's why a lot of your Oceania clients will look at Fred's as an alternative.
Yeah, because the trouble is, I mean, the pricing for the inside cabins and the outside cabins is pretty darn good for what you get. And it's quite cheap once you get on board. But because they're smaller, older ships, when you come to having a balcony, it's a bit like Aurora. When you come to have a balcony, the price is double what it is for an outside cabin.
Yeah.
And, you know, because there are only suites. You've got the terrace, which is a sort of half and half, which I've got another video coming up later this week, which shows a quick look round. It's a quick look round. It's not a proper review like we did of the outside one. Quick look round, a terrace cabin, a junior balcony suite, and a balcony suite. So it's up to everybody to make their own mind up what they want. But they are quite expensive. They're twice. I mean, we were talking about it today, Dan, weren't we? And you know, an 8-day cruise in a balcony suite, £4,000.
I looked at it, close to 5.
Close to 5. Whereas equivalent on a ocean view, would be, well, go on. You can do. I get that was single occupancy, though, wasn't it?
No, so the price that I had was just over 5 for a balcony suite.
Yeah.
An ocean view, looking at about 1,200 a person.
Yeah. It's a big difference.
Huge differences.
A huge difference, and the size. The ocean view is 214 square feet that we were in. The terrace cabin, I think, is 280.
In my language, that was big. It was big. It was very spacious.
Yeah. If anyone's been on P&O like the Aurora, Oriana, it's about 30% bigger than their ocean views. So yeah, there's plenty of
very
room in there.
To be in.
Just great difficulty watching the television if you're on the right hand side, especially when it was a bit bumpy. Yeah.
Well, that was partly our fault because we had our beds split into singles.
Yes.
Because that way you can get to see out of the window, rather than climbing on the bed to try and look out the window. But it did mean that the bed on the right hand side wasn't easy to see the television.
Not that we wanted to watch.
No, not really. No.
But you go to bed, you're checking your account or whatever.
Watching the rugby and it
Yeah.
sort of kept sliding that bit. It was really quite
Yeah,
fun.
we were trying to watch. We were watching the rugby in the cabin. They had it on in the pub, but they had the sound turned down, and you don't get any atmosphere with the sound turned down. So we went back to the cabin to watch the rugby. Lizzie says she needs to get on, Fred. You need to get on, Fred. And I know if you weren't working, you'd be coming with us next year. But she's working then, so she can't. So Keith says, shouldn't there be a goldfish in that last goldfish bowl?
It's yours, not mine.
And no, it could be both of ours. Both got the same. It's just a drop of gin. Just a drop of gin, isn't it? That's
it's
all.
big enough for a double.
Yeah.
Just.
Have we been on P&O Ventura? Yes. We were on Ventura in November 2023.
Yeah.
And we had a thoroughly enjoyable time.
Yeah.
There were some strange goings on board that we witnessed, but it didn't directly affect us.
I think you have to realise that it's a family ship, and whether it's school holidays or not, you will get families on there. And there are places that you can go to get away from them. There's an adult-only pool, isn't there?
Yep.
And then the Metropolis bar, which is adult-only bar as well, which are quite nice places to be.
Yeah.
But I think you just have to temper out the fact that there, almost any time of year, there are going to be families on there.
We booked in November because there were no holidays and things like that, but there were still 200 or 300 kids on there. And to be fair, the 200 or 300 kids were no issues at all.
No, not really. No.
But some of the adults on the board had some very strange, well, very non-cruise-like behaviour. I mean, sitting in the dining room with a onesie on is like bizarre. Going to an adult-only late-night bar, the Metropolis, with a onesie on at midnight is a bit strange.
Yeah, literally from breakfast through to midnight, there were people wearing onesies.
Just a bit strange, and there were people, we witnessed people vaping in the show lounges, which was not good.
And they didn't actually clamp down on it.
No.
They should have done. And that would have stopped all of that. But they didn't. And I actually blame P&O for that. And they just need to get some of their officers out doing it, because it's not fair to make the waiters and things do it.
No.
But it's a job for the officers or the security to just walk around and sort it out. I don't know whether they have sorted out the sunbeds. That was interesting, going up the top and watching the hubbub with the sunbeds and the towels.
Yeah.
How many towels do you need on a sunbed? That's a very good question.
That was on Sky.
Oh, that was Sky,
That was
wasn't it?
Sky,
It's
yeah.
still a good question.
Yeah, it's still a good question. So yeah, we had a really good time on there.
Yeah, it was good.
The food was okay.
But you wouldn't rave about it.
As
would
it
you?
is, you wouldn't rave about it. The entertainment was good.
Yeah.
There'd be some really good entertainment on P&O, and they still do it. So yeah, but some of the people were a little bit different to us. And that could be a good thing.
They're all now looking at me to see my reactions.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, you black look you're going to give me.
No.
Bob says that Lizzie has a time for another cruise. Yeah, she can always
of course she
squeeze
does.
one in. Yeah. Remember the right question, says Bob. Yes, if you would, it does make it easier for us to see. Annie and Carl, I agree. Book a cruise with Fred. Yeah, I would. It's not all whistles and bells. It's not in your face, loud and noisy. It's old style, traditional cruising, good food, fantastic service, and now the entertainment's coming up as well.
That's a big bonus, really.
A big bonus for us, because we do like. The only thing we're going to have to change is they have very busy daytime programs, but not the things that we have traditionally done. They're different. They had some fantastic lecturers on there, didn't they?
Yeah.
The photography man I found really interesting. So yeah, it's
Yeah, we're just gonna. But it did allow me to read Doc's book. So
yes, it did. It did. Yeah.
And I haven't read a book on board for a long time, but I did actually get time to read your book this time, which was quite nice.
Right, Gil and Sandra, they had a good time with the martinis. Yeah, it's just fun, isn't it? We had all 5 martinis.
You know what I mean, don't you?
Yeah, we had all the martinis one night, didn't we?
We did.
3/4 of an hour, 5 of them, but we're doing rude not to.
So the way that they do the martini experience is that you get, obviously you pay for the experience, but then you get a choice of 4 out of 8 martinis on a list. So you choose those, and you have the option of either having them all at once or spreading them out over 2 or 3 days.
3 or 4 days. You can have one a day if you wish.
That would have been rude.
Don't judge everybody by your own standards, Lindsay.
And then you get to there's the demonstrations and all of that's going on, and the staff are obviously really enjoying doing it as well, because it's done by the bar staff, isn't it? And then they get the people that are there actually up and making some of
Making
these
them.
things as well.
And you get to shake your shake and do a little dance and at the same time, don't you? And everyone cheering and clapping.
Yeah.
Really good fun.
It is good
Yeah,
fun.
it was good fun.
Actually, one of the ladies barely could get up out of the chair, but my goodness, when she got that shaker in her hand, she was going for it.
She was. Johnny and Will, did you make it back to the Angry Friar? We did, but there's a bit of a story to that. So we only had half a day in Gibraltar. It was absolutely pouring with rain when we got there. The taxi drivers were ripping everybody off. Instead of charging the £4 return price or the £2 in, the £2 out, bearing in mind it was pouring with rain, they had all the signs up there, didn't they, saying £4 return? They'd actually gone over there with a bit of sticky tape and covered up the price and charged 50% more to everyone. And when you challenged them on it, they said, oh, it went up last year. So I said, well, it was still £4 in December. So we did go back there, but the bizarre thing was I drank hot chocolate.
And I had a coffee. We were drenched.
We were drenched. We just wanted something warm to drink. But we did go, we had a chat to the landlady. Didn't eat anything this time, did we?
No.
We were just, and then
And we
walked back.
didn't even stop at the Lord Nelson on the way back.
No, we didn't. It was just a horrible. By the time we got to midday, the sun was out. It was 19 degrees and it was gorgeous. And we set sail at 12:30. So
It was interesting though that obviously a lot of the passengers have been very disappointed that they couldn't spend longer time in Gib, and that perhaps we were leaving as the weather was clearing up, so that didn't help. But they'd obviously made it known to senior staff, and the captain actually made mention of it at his farewell cocktail party, didn't he? And said that they'd actually tried to get extra 3 hours in Gib, but because of where we were going, which was Cadiz, I think, because we had to be in Cadiz by a certain time, they just couldn't do it. But they had actually tried, which I can't remember that happening with many other cruises.
no,
really.
they were, but that's what they do. The visibility of the officers on board, they're everywhere, and they're so happy to talk to you. You know, if you said good morning, sir, if you saw the captain, he would come and talk to you. He wouldn't just sort of acknowledge you and walk off. But that's what they all do, don't they? We were chatting to quite a few of the staff, the officers on board. Lizzie says she likes smaller ships the more she cruises. She's getting into smaller ships more. Yeah, I can understand that. Andy and Cara, smaller ships. Yeah. But I just don't know whether that's the way it's going to go. Right, I'm not quite sure why in the name of insert blank this is a family was the pool replaced with plants. No idea. The only thing is we believe, and Dan might be able to answer this, did they do away with the pools and put extra cabins in Borealis? Because she's got a slightly higher capacity, hasn't she, than Valletta?
Yeah, exactly that.
That is what they did. So they wouldn't have got that many more. I mean, she only holds 1,200 and something. But
they didn't do too much, to be fair. Don't quite know why they did it. They should have just left it as it was.
I agree. Although the main pool that in the covered area that did open up, and that it was 2 or 3 people in there at most at any one time. So it wasn't as if there was a lot of people desperately to get in the pool and they couldn't. No, not at all. Oh, and the poolside grill, that was good food as well, wasn't it? I nearly forgot that one. That was good. They did buckets of rain. Right, question. Did you manage to get into different cabins? Yes, we did, Jerry. So as I mentioned earlier, we've got the terrace, which I think you've got booked for next year, and the junior balcony suite and the balcony suite. They're only a quick walk round because the guys that were escorting us were waiting to start work.
Yeah, they were doing it off duty.
Yeah, they were doing off duty in their own time, so we're very grateful for that. But we have got those 3 categories, but it's not like, there's 3 plugs here and 2 there and this and that like we do on the normal ones. It's this is what it looks like. Oh, look at that. This is the same as that. That's the same as that. This is a bit better. And then we do take you out onto the balcony. on the ones with balconies and into the bathrooms as well, don't we? Because there are some differences. There was one thing that we found very strange about the bathrooms, wasn't it? Was the stuff that you were supplied or not.
But hey ho.
You only get body wash in the shower, no shampoo, but if you have a suite or junior suite, you get both. So if you're fussy about your shampoo, bring your own shampoo, unless you're in a suite. We found that quite strange, really.
Yeah. Because, how difficult is it to do that? But anyway, but it was it was nice, and of course that gives us a fairly good coverage because we were obviously in an outside.
Yeah.
If they want to have a gander at an inside, the one we did like we did on Ballet, one on Ballet would be very similar.
Yeah, virtually identical.
So it's quite a good spread of the types of cabin. Yeah. But unfortunately, we couldn't get into the owner's suite.
Couldn't get into the Premier Suites now. You'll have to see Paul and Carol's channel for that because they did, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
I think they did. Yeah, I think they got that one up. Andy and Carla, going on Aurora soon. We know you are.
Yes, I know.
The week before us.
And we're going to be passing.
Yeah, don't break her. Bob says, it's a lovely, we do. How do you connect to a Wi-Fi package on P&O? I'm tech stupid and different devices. Right,
Me
so
too.
P&O, they've got their My Holiday app that's not an app. It's actually a connection to a web page. So you connect to the P&O guest Wi-Fi. When you connect to that initially, it will take you directly into their page. You log in then using, I think, the last 6 digits of your card number and your name and date of birth. Once you get in there, you can see all the options. If you wish to buy an internet package on P&O, you can go on there and you can buy it daily or for the duration of the whole cruise. And they've got 2 different levels on P&O as well. They've got a streaming only, sort of social media and email one, and then a higher level which includes streaming as well. I can't remember the prices off the top. Do you know them at all, Dan?
It varies depending on if they've got offers on as well, so
yeah,
I'm not
but
sure.
We were paying around about £20 a day, I think, because we actually streamed. Now that was the other thing, and that's each person. So there are people around the ship. If you get on board, you need help. There are people situated around the ship, and you go to them, and they will help you, and they're very, very good as well. Very, very helpful. But it's quite pricey on there. Fred Olsen, they've also got Starlink on, haven't they?
Yeah.
It's a lot cheaper. It ranged between £12 and £8 a day, and that was multiple devices. But there's no streaming. It doesn't allow you to use a VPN, which I was rather concerned about. And your download speed is about 2 to 3 megabits per second. So if you're just doing social media, putting a few photos on or keeping up to date with your emails, absolutely fine. But half the price of P&O, no YouTube, YouTube's blocked. All streaming sites are blocked. So, but it was good, and that was for both of us.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
which we
very
were very
good.
surprised about.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that at all.
Yeah. Good things about her account. Yeah, and in Carly getting excited. It's not long now. We checked in today. Just.
Yeah, just.
Andy.
That means I've got to start packing again soon. I haven't ironed the last lot yet.
Yeah. True. Yeah. On there in May, we were on there with Bob and Holly as well. Had a great time. She's a great ship. She is a lovely ship. Not perfect. Nothing is perfect. Oh, here we go. Holly and Bob have been to the Azores, and it's very nice. Good.
Oh, well, chat to them.
And Florida's still looking after the ducks.
Oh.
Your ducks. That was quite funny, wasn't it?
It was.
Because the only people that seemed to find Lindsay's ducks were people that sort of
followed
watched our videos,
yeah.
which was quite strange.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Mike, good evening to you. Catching up slowly. And Corin's been to the Azores on transatlantic in November. About whale knowledge. Fountains of smaller Madeira. Oh, okay. We love Madeira. Definitely planning our next UK trip for 27.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that'd be good. Anne Irvine, question. We're on Borealis in 3 weeks' time, Northern Lights. Are the cabins warm enough, please? I'll let Lindsay answer that one. There's a reason for that.
We had a slight issue with the temperature in our cabin. It was either very hot or very cold. And it took a few days, but eventually I think we kicked it hard enough to actually make it sort itself out. But if there is an issue with the temperature's not getting to where you want it to be, it's wise to really contact the staff and say, is there an issue? Because they'll come and sort it out fairly quickly. But it was once it found its level, it was very comfortable in there, plenty warm enough, and certainly would be plenty warm enough for Northern Lights. Yeah,
in our cabin they'd updated the thermostat, different new digital controller, and when we got into the cabin it was at 28 degrees in the cabin. Oh my lord! So I turned it right down and nothing happened. And then there was an override button at the bottom, and I pressed all the buttons, and then all of a sudden it went down to about 17 degrees, which Lindsay was freezing, and it wouldn't go up, even though you set it to like 20.
The bar.
And it was just like, so we had a few issues, but eventually I changed.
And it sorted itself
out.
I
changed the override settings, because there was 3 override settings, and I didn't know what I was doing. Anyway, it sorted itself out, and it was good. But yeah, there is a capability of keeping it very warm on there, and I actually found personally the ship quite warm everywhere. A little on the warm side for me. Yeah. You were probably all right.
It's at times in places it was quite warm for me as well, and I'm not really a sort of person that feels that too much, but yes, it was very warm, really.
Yeah.
A lot of the time you'd say it was comfortable, but there were times when, depending on where you were, it could be deemed as hot.
It always seemed to be on formal nights when I had a jacket and tie on that I felt warm. But I think they do a lot of cruise lines turn the temperature up, because you've got all these lovely ladies with bare arms and things in their posh dresses, and they feel the cold. And
it's our fault, isn't it?
No. But if you're looking at crew, guys, you'll know what I mean by this. Would you rather have 1 or 2 blokes going, it's a bit hot in here, or would you rather have 100 women going, it's freezing? Yeah, they turn it up a bit, don't they? They're not stupid. Bob says, Dan the Cruiser is an awesome agent. There you go, Bob. Dan, all good. And they've just come back from Northern Lights cruise, and the cabins were warm enough. Good. Got another question here.
Phil, come on then. What's he come out with this time?
Hi Phil. Hi, I've all come over us with any concerns for the group cruise, or has it got you buzzing? It's got us buzzing, really. Because we spotted all these little rooms, and we thought, well, we could do something there, and we could do something there. Some of the little events that we took part in were...
We could do that.
Yeah, we could do that. Or we could do that, yeah.
It was interesting. We kind of looked at it from a different point of view.
Yeah.
And yes, there were things that we noticed or tried that we may not have done had we not had that in the back of our mind.
Yeah.
So yes.
So yeah, we are very, very happy with what we saw.
Yeah.
And really looking forward to it. And I think because
we haven't mentioned all this to Dan.
No, we haven't. Because of the feeling you get when you go on the ship with everybody looking after you. Nobody could be, well, I don't know, maybe some people would, but I don't know how anyone could not like it. They may not like bits of it, but the overall experience, I just don't know how anyone could not like it, because it's like turning the clock back 20 odd years, and not...
Some people may not like that.
No, some people may not like that, but it's proper cruising, which we were brought up on, wasn't it?
Yeah.
In our 30s.
And it's proper cocktail parties for the welcome on board. And the farewell parties are both done properly. Just if you're going on at all, just sit on the edge of the rows.
Yes.
Because you get More.
And of course, the cocktails that you get, not the cocktails, you get the cava served or mimosa served at breakfast in the main dining room as well on formal days. Yeah, so good. No, we loved
would
it,
have been
Phil.
rude not to, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we loved it, Phil. It was great, and I'm sure you'll like it as well. It was really good. Lizzie's saying, don't forget press the like button. Yeah. Leslie, was it good ship side for calling the Eastern Mediterranean and May a good time? Very seat and tourist numbers.
Okay.
We've done the Eastern Mediterranean not for quite a few years, and we've done it on Aurora and Oriana.
We did it generally later in the year.
We did it usually in sort of November time, and it was great. What do you know about that one, Dan?
May's a good time. Weather's nice. Not too many, but it's starting to get busier in that area. Eastern Med depends on the type of ship you want, but something like Celebrity Infinity is a good size out of Athens. Or if you can sort of put your costs up a bit more, Azamara, do some really good Croatian itineraries, or Greek intensive. But there's a good mix, to be honest.
And Azura's based over in Malta, isn't she? Doesn't she do one way that goes round to the Greek islands and 1 week back round the other? We've never done it because
she does three.
She does three.
Realistically, she does Greece, Croatia, and then you've got Livorno, Civitavecchia. So yeah, she does a mixture of three.
Okay, just thinking of different budgets, sort of thing. And Oceania had some good deals over there as well the other day, but that's late end of the year sort of thing. And they were like, I think they had like 12 night cruises for just over £2,000, including flights and things like that. Yeah, pretty good. Question for Dan. For ports considering capping the number of sizes of cruise ships, what passenger capacity do you think will be the cut-off point?
How long's a piece of string? If I was making that decision, I'd be a very well-paid person. Well, the thing is that you've got Allure and sailing out of Barcelona and Rome areas, and she can hold nearly 6,000, and they're fine with that. So I can't really see them capping them too much. But it all depends how much they want tourism, really.
Yeah, it's like what is a small ship these days? I mean, I'd say under 2,000 is quite nice for us, or 2,000, just over 2,000 and below is a good size for us. We haven't gone really small yet, have we? But we'll go down to sort of 1,200, 1,000, something like that. And that's nice because you still get a variety of things, don't you? But you haven't got that where it takes you an hour to get off the ship and all those sort of issues that you suffer with. So yeah, I don't know what a small ship is. When we first started cruising on a 1,800 capacity cruise ship, she was like one of the biggest there was. But yeah,
I think each country's going to do something different, aren't they?
Yeah.
And it depends what sort of finances are involved as well, I think.
Yeah, it'll all come down to money at the end of the day, I think.
Yeah.
So, question from Jerry. Hi, Jerry. Have you sailed with Fred?
I have sailed with them 8 times. But I did Balmoral, Boudica and Braemar. Which, correct me if I'm wrong, Braemar is the new residence ship that's had numerous issues.
Yes.
Boudica got scrapped, and obviously Balmoral's still going. But I did about 5 of my cruises on Boudica out of Southampton when I was down there for uni, because it was so easy to get on there. I just emailed my head office and said, is there any space? yes, thank you very much. See you later.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was nice and easy. As we obviously someone know we're kind of cousins to Fred Olsen, because we're owned by Fred Olsen Travel, so we're all family. So it did mean back then, just before COVID, we used to get the odd good last minute deal. Doesn't happen anymore.
No.
But I did spend nearly a summer on one of their ships. So.
And did you get fed up with it, Dan?
No.
No.
I love that ship because, just as you were saying earlier, the crew treated you as family, and I've still got tons of them on Facebook that I keep in touch with and have chats with. And I would sit in the bookmark cafe, just sat there with my little card of however many hot chocolates I could have, and just chat about their family and everything. Love it.
They're very happy to talk to you, and they seem to make time, don't they? And I think that's why, in many respects, I think Fred would be a good cruise ship for solos as well. I don't know what the solo deals are like because I've never really looked at them, but they even had in the afternoon tea in the buffet, didn't they? They had an area cordoned off for solo travellers only, so people could pop in at afternoon tea and meet up together and have a chat and an afternoon tea, which was pretty good. So,
what are the deals like for solos on there? Do you know?
They used to be awful. So when they launched their newest sailings, they did a 0 single supplement.
Wow.
So you could get some cruises at $8.99 for a week. So they have improved them a lot, but they have a certain amount that are at that price.
Okay.
And then obviously after that it will be a standard cabin and a solo supplement. But they do have quite a few solo cabins.
Good. That's good to know because it's the forgotten people in many respects, aren't they? And it's often quite difficult and very expensive. Yeah. So Anne's on deck 2 near the back. We were on deck 1 near the back, Anne, weren't we?
It's very convenient.
Very, very convenient because you can go straight up to the restaurants or straight up to the buffet, depending whether you want to go to deck 8, deck 4 or deck 5. And then to get anywhere in the middle. And when you get on and off the ship, they take you off and on at low decks, which is great because it means that the incline of the deck, what they call the ramps, the gangplanks, are very shallow, and it's great, particularly for people with mobility issues. We went on Celebrity once, and it was like uncomfortable for us to walk up, but they're very careful like that, aren't they? And we went off on deck A, which is below deck 1. Deck 1, deck 2, and I think the highest we went off at all was deck 3.
Yeah. That was onto a big country. Is that Lisbon?
I can't. Yeah, it was, but that was onto an air bridge, so it doesn't really matter anyway. Bounciness.
Depends on the weather.
Depends on the weather. Yeah, we had 4 or 5 meter seas at times, and yet she moved around a bit. But you're gonna. I don't think there was much variation between the front and the back of the ship.
No.
Really. They were also doing some strange things with ballast and empty fuel tanks and things. What they were doing converting over to biofuel. But I don't think the position of the ship made that. And as you're on deck 2, you're quite low down anyway, so you should be fine. And we didn't really suffer with any engine noise, did we?
Not really.
Bearing in mind we were down on deck 1. Yeah. So, yeah, you'll love it. But obviously, if you get a bad storm or whatever, you will feel it because you're on a ship. But that goes true for something that's that size or 180,000 tons. Phil, question for Dan. On a summer cruise on Azamara, I had a cancelled flight on the way back and descended into chaos. What are the advantages of using a TA versus booking individual elements?
Firstly, you're not protected, realistically. If you book it all individually, if your flight goes Pete Tong, then you've got to speak to the airline to sort it out. If you book with a TA, then you can be atoll protected, so everything is controlled by your TA. Often you can also get deals that you can't get direct, so we get different rates for cruises when we package compared to just doing cruise only. Greater flexibility. So, for example, if you decide you want a night or 2 nights before, but you've already booked your flight separately, then you can't really do much apart from pay a few admin fees. If you do it through an agent, there's greater flexibility to move things around. And you're supporting a small business. Generally, depending on what TA you use, and instead of booking direct with Azamara, booking direct with BA, for example, booking direct with the hotel, you're supporting a smaller business and giving them a little bit more money than multi-million-pound businesses.
I think the other thing that you mentioned to us today when we were working out the logistics of our cruise coming up in October, that's a bit hush-hush at the moment because it's still not sorted, about that insurance as well that you were able to offer, and I didn't know that existed, and that's something else, Phil, that Dan said that because we were booking pre-stay hotels, weren't we, and Dan said that if we take out this extra insurance, which was dirt cheap, that we'd be covered for the hotel costs in case something went wrong with the transport or the cruise or whatever. So things like that, and the things like that you knew that I didn't have a clue existed, and that's another thing. Yeah. Thanks, Dan. So Florida Lines are definitely not going to use P&O again. So you're definitely Fred converts. We will use P&O again, as we are in 3 weeks' time. But they're becoming
less frequent
than they used to be.
And a little bit more
selective on the cruises, and definitely selective on the ships.
Yeah.
Yeah. Johnny would love to try, although the price for a balcony cabin always puts us off. Yeah, it does, but you may or may not have seen the video we put out this week. There is plenty of room in a outside cabin, and by having the bed split rather than put together, it's so comfortable, isn't it?
It is.
214 square feet. That's bigger than a lot of balcony cabins. So, have a look, see what you think. But they are good. Knowing you prefer to cruise out the queue, have you thought of trying Ambassador? Yes, we have. Very much so.
Keep thinking about it.
And keep
looking at things.
We've got 2 that we're looking at for next year in closer detail. Dan doesn't know about this yet. And we've been talking to some other friends that have been looking as well. 2 things. We'd like to cruise out of Bristol because it's 30 miles up the road, and that opens an opinion. But the cruise that we found for that is going to a similar itinerary that we got another cruise booked for already, so that sort of puts out. And there's another one that's going up to Iceland that we've been looking at as well in there. So that's still a possibility, but then that sails out of Liverpool. But Liverpool's not too bad. I think I'd rather go to Liverpool than Tilbury from here.
We'll find out what Tilbury's like, because a friend of ours actually did her first Ambassador cruise. She's on there at the moment, so she'll be coming back at the end of the week.
Yeah.
And she drove up to Tilbury from here.
Yeah.
So we'll see how she got on.
It's the silly things, guys, because with us we would drive up there anyway, but it's all the extra bits you have to think of. I mean, Dan, you come down, you go to London quite regularly, don't you, on the train for things? Well, for us, we'd probably drive, and the cost of the parking, but then you've got the ULEZ and the congestion charges and all that sort of stuff to think about. And because we're not used to it, we'd have to sort of seriously think and work out what was what, because otherwise we'd end up getting a big fine. Not through not wanting to pay it, but through ignorance and not knowing. So Bristol appeals, 30 miles up the road, and also this other one going to Iceland we've sort of been thinking about, because we've never been to Iceland, have we?
No.
I just hope if we do go, the weather's better than it was when Dan was there.
Yeah.
It's a bit wet.
Different size ship though. Different size ship.
Yeah, very true, very true. So, and yeah, you treat her with care, look after her. She's going for a refit when we get off.
Don't you dare empty the bars completely.
No, don't empty the bars. Yes. Oh, here we go. Margaret. We're booked on the Crown Princess this October for 11 nights Southside Australia, Tasmania, departing from Sydney. How have your viewers found the seas, in particular the Bass Strait? Well,
Wow.
I know that when Paul and Carol were down there on Azamara, Carol had a nightmare, didn't she? They felt really quite poorly. I can't remember where. Can you remember where that was, Dan?
That was going between Singapore and Sydney, I believe.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know Carol was like pulling her hair out, wasn't it? She was not good at all. You haven't sailed down there either, have you?
Well, yeah.
I don't know whether Bob has. Not sure. Has he done down there? He might have. He's been most places. So perhaps anyone else can help Margaret with her answer. Because we don't know. Sorry, Margaret. Failed on that one. Bob said the prices for internet was £18 for normal and £24 for streaming. MA. Thank you, Bob. Much appreciated. Thanks for that. We have a house at 19 degrees at the moment. Oh yeah. So yeah. Well, everyone has different.
Eastern Med in September.
We're doing Eastern Med in September. Yeah, that could still be quite warm.
Yes,
it?
it could be. It could be quite nice.
Because
actually.
yeah.
The worst of the heat would have probably gone by that time.
Yeah, end of September would be nice. We were in Dubrovnik several times in August, and you were like melting, weren't you? Yeah.
Yeah. No amount of ice cream was helping.
Yeah, and says read deck 2 convenience. Hubs walks with it is really convenient. It's great, but then everywhere is really convenient. I mean, most of the stuff on Borealis is on deck 5. There's a few bits on deck 4, but most things are on deck 5 or up on deck 8, aren't they? But you haven't got far to walk, and they've got all these lovely little individual rooms, and they've all got their own characters, and it's just
It's quite easy to get around.
it's easy to get around. Very easy ship to get around. Yeah. Warren's here. Hi, Warren. Nice of you to join us. Lizzie, yes, do try and bus. So let me know which date so she can come as well. Oh, that'd be
We'll have to
nice.
book that several years in advance then, won't we?
Yeah, we will. Warren says, recently had our plane cancelled, got to Grove the next day, lost the hotel room, got nothing from the ship or TA. What type of insurance, not the band, but coverage, would you recommend? Dan?
That's a tough one. Generally, standard insurance should cover you for anything like that. Most standard travel insurance. The cover that we put on packages is something that most TAs should put on a package if they've done it as a package. So it would normally cover it. It all depends on the circumstances of what happened when the flight was cancelled, what they compensated with, and all that sort of thing. So there's different levels, but a standard travel insurance should cover you for a lost room like that. Should do.
Interesting, no. Thank you, Dan. I hope that helps, Warren. I know that sometimes insurance for people in the States is a little bit different, isn't it? Because my uncle, who was from Florida, he never used to take travel insurance ever because he didn't believe in it, and but he got caught cropper once, didn't he? But not to worry.
No, it still didn't make any difference. He still didn't wear it.
So Anne's obviously down Southampton or Hyde, I think, from memory. Less than 5 minutes. We sail from Portsmouth, which is a bit different, but we cover that in hopefully our next vlog we do. Rob saying hi Rob, like to do ambassador, they look great value. Yeah, Lizzie Lou loves it. Loved Dark Road, yeah, and Johnny and Will loved it as well. 5 nights on Ambition. Yeah, I think it was Ambition what we were looking at as well, wasn't it?
I think so. Andy and Carl, I can't guarantee that they'll leave anything in the bars. All right.
Oh. Roughest seas ever had 49 cruises between New Zealand and Australia. Oh, there's one for you then, Margaret. Oh dear. We can't comment because we weren't there, but wow. Oh dear. But everyone's different, isn't it? John and Will, yeah, loved your ambassador. Yeah, we liked the ambassador video. It was good because you had a balcony cabin, didn't you? I think. Yeah. Somebody else. Rob liking ambience. Looking forward to Borealis now. Picking up tickets from the travel agent tomorrow. Yeah, we had a great time on there. Rob, jealous, beautiful ship.
Proper tickets. Your proper
luggage labels in the book. The book you get before you go. I think it's classic. Yeah. Only on one cruise. That was Sky Princess. Very different to Sky Princess.
Very different. Yes.
So much more at ease. So much more space. That sounds bad. Space per person. Space to move and spread your wings. Smaller ship, but more space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First to guest ratio.
So what says they got a voucher?
Absolutely right, Dan.
A voucher from United, but nothing for the hotel. Wow. Oh, and June's here. Yes, we did enjoy Borealis. You're back on YouTube after regaining Wi-Fi in my new crew cabin-like room. Oh, still on a cruise hibernation in June. Oh, great. Well, thank you very much for joining us, June. Much appreciated. Kevin says, here in Ghana, cover is called trip interruption insurance and is generally separate from the normal travel insurance. That's useful to know. So maybe it's similar in the States as it is Canada, but I know that their insurance works in a very different way to ours over here. Lindsay, you got some housekeeping to do before we let everybody...
Well, not an awful lot because I think we've covered most of the things.
Okay.
But there will be, before we head off on our next cruise, there will be another newsletter. I'm not sure if it'll be this week or beginning next week, but because I haven't had chance with the washing, haven't had chance to get into that yet. But our next live will be on Monday the 7th of April, just after our return from our next cruise.
It's a bit greedy. We're being a bit greedy at the moment.
Well, this one's been planned for a long time.
It was planned before the last one. The last one was a gap filler.
Yeah, it was.
That was you.
That was my fault.
Yeah. Anything else, Lindsay?
I don't think so, housekeeping wise. No. So
no.
It's just a tail end of the comments.
Okay, so look out for the vlogs because they will hopefully be coming. We've got a messy week this week with appointments and things to get over.
Catching up on all sorts of family appointments and things.
Yeah.
It's not easy getting old, is it?
No. Gil and Sandra back on Borealis in May. Yeah, you'll have a ball. And sorry, Anne. Yes, of course they're sailing from Newcastle towards the end of the month, aren't they? I should have known that one. So yes, great. Well, you'll have see the funnels past our bedroom window. Oh wow. I haven't been to Newcastle for years. When I was working, we had to go up to Washington and I had a look round. Rob prefers the smaller ships after seeing the MSC mega ship so busy. Yeah.
Yeah, it was busy. Unfortunately, beautiful ships though.
Yeah, beautiful ships.
You can't get away from that. Beautiful.
No, but overcrowded.
Yeah.
For our liking.
Good cocktails.
Good cocktails. Yeah. Right, Kevin, back on YouTube after that's all good. Margaret, thanks for the like. Yeah, thank you very much for joining us. Thanks to everybody for joining us tonight. It's been great. I hope all of you that got cruises booked, you have a wonderful time. Special big thanks to all our moderators tonight, and a huge big thanks to Dan for coming with us. Thank you, Dan.
More than welcome.
Really appreciate it. And if you do need to book any cruises, just get hold of Dan and give him a shout. He'll be more than happy to take your money.
He takes ours.
He takes ours without thinking twice about it. Yeah, I'm sure he has a smile on his face.
No, we can hear the smile on his face.
Yeah, we can hear the smile on his face.
And
there.
if you want to know any more about our upcoming group cruise next year, don't forget to have a look at the website.
Yes.
The details are on there, plus a little video that talks about it as well. And also on there that you can go to the Contact Dan section and contact him for a quote.
Yeah, thank you very much. In fact, what I'll do, I'll just leave you with a clip of that little promo video of our group cruise coming up next year. And thank you all very much once again.